In early 1942, the Pacific seemed to belong to Japan. The carrier strike force had swept across the ocean with shocking speed, smashing Pearl Harbor, seizing the Philippines, and driving deep into the Dutch East Indies and the Central Pacific.
Analyzing threat vectors. Land all crafts, move out. Tactical analyst.
United States Navy was battered, but it was not broken. In the months after Pearl Harbor, American shipyards worked day and night, new pilots trained under pressure, intelligence officers hunted for clues, and out in the Pacific, two fleets moved towards a collision that would decide the shape of war. Japan's plan was bold. Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto intended to lure the American carriers into battle and destroy them. Midway Atoll, a tiny speck of coral west of Hawaii, was chosen as the base. If Midway fell, Japan would threaten Hawaii itself and tighten its grip on the Pacific. But the Americans had an advantage that Japan did not know about. Naval cryptanalysts had begun to read Japanese naval communications. At Station Hippo in Hawaii, officers under Commander Joseph Rochett pieced together fragments of enemy traffic. The target was codenamed AF. The question was simple. Was AF Midway? The answer came in a quiet, almost absurd way. Midway sent an uncoded message reporting a water shortage. Soon after, Japanese intercepts referred to AF's water problem. The trap was confirmed. Admiral Chester Minutes now knew where the Japanese would strike. He made a dangerous decision. He placed 3 American carriers in ambush northeast of Midway, Enterprise Hornet and Yorktown, repaired with extraordinary speed after the Battle of the Coral Sea. Their flight decks were crowded with aircraft, their crews exhausted, and their commanders braced for a battle they might not survive. At dawn on the 4th of June 1942, Japanese aircraft rose from their carriers and attacked Midway. The island burned under waves of bombs and torpedoes. Hangars shattered, fuel tanks erupted, yet the defenders held on. American Marines and Navy flyers fought desperately from the ground and from the air, while torpedo planes launched from Midway were cut down almost to the last machine. Meanwhile, the Japanese carrier commanders faced a critical choice. Their first strike had damaged the island, but Midway was not yet neutralized. They needed a second attack, and so, in a decision that would prove fatal, they ordered their reserved aircraft to be rearmed, this time for a strike on Midway again. Below the clouds, American torpedo squadrons attacked in near suicide fashion. They came in low and slow, and the Japanese fighter cover tore them apart. But their sacrifice pulled the enemy combat air patrol down to sea level. They were dying, but they were buying time. Then, at the edge of the battlefield, American dive bombers appeared almost by accident. Their timing was everything. Lieutenant Colonel Maid Mikulski spotted a Japanese destroyer racing north and followed its wake to the enemy fleet. For one brief moment, the Japanese carriers were exposed, decks crowded with armed aircraft. Fuel lines open, ordnance everywhere. At that instant, the sky fell. Enterprise and Yorktown dive bombers struck first. In minutes, Agagai, Kaka, and Soryu were hit with devastating precisions. Flames raced along their decks, explosions ripped through hangars packed with fuel bombs, and the heart of Japan's carrier force was destroyed before it could recover. Only Hiryu remained. She launched counterattacks and managed to cripple Yorktown, but her own fate was sealed. American aircraft found her later that afternoon and set her ablaze as well. By nightfall, the Japanese strike force was gone. 4 fleet carriers lost, hundreds of experienced airmen and deck crews dead. The offensive spear of the Imperial Navy had been broken. The battle did not end Japan's war in the Pacific, but it changed the balance forever. From Midway onwards, Japan would fight defensively, while the United States seized the initiative. A small island, a handful of carriers, a few crucial messages read in secret, and the course of the Pacific was turned.